Hi everyone, we'll start very shortly. We're just waiting for Madam Ambassador to be here in a minute. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the launch of the third edition of Yara India Sustainability Report. This year's theme is Greener Pathways, Fostering a Nature-Positive Food Future, a vision for regenerative, resilient agriculture. We're delighted to host you here at the Norwegian Embassy, which has now become a symbolic space, or I would say rather a home for this occasion. This being our third consecutive launch of the report here. Now, without further ado, let us now begin today's proceedings as we come together to celebrate progress, partnerships, and purpose in building a more sustainable future for Indian agriculture. To formally open today's event, I would now like to invite Her Excellency Ambassador May Ellen Stenner to deliver the opening remarks. Please join me in welcoming her.
Thank you so much. And it's so great to be here. It doesn't really feel very long ago since I was standing here with you a year ago. This is my second launch of Yara's sustainability report. I know it's your third, but again, I'm really happy to be here, to be part of this launch again of this year's edition. And this year's edition is named Greener Pathways, Fostering a Nature-Positive Food Future. This is a testament to the steady progress and great commitment of the team present here today. I saw you all coming in here, and it's so nice to see you. I'm really honored to be here with you. Well, Sanjeev is all the way back there, but we've worked so well together. You are leading this incredible team so well, and the dedication of the whole team really inspires me and us here at the embassy. So Yara was founded in 1905 to address famine in Europe. It was started as a company in Norway, but now it has grown into the world's only global crop nutrition company, and it's present in more than 60 countries, including here in India, obviously. Thanks so much to all of your great work. Yara has become a leading fertilizer company and a key player in India's agriculture transformation. And it is needed. India is the 7th most vulnerable country to climate change in the world. India's crucial and vast agricultural sector is at risk. Among the most affected are the women farmers, who often struggle with limited access to resources and recognition. Yet they are also among the most powerful agents of change. Yara India's Sustainability Report 2024 highlights the 5C framework: commit, connect, care, concern, and contribute. Principle we appreciate that you are taking into your everyday operations. I have also been inspired by the stories of the farmers' resilience and adaptability. This April, I was really happy to travel to Assam for the first time, and there I met small-scale farmers, most of them women. I saw the remarkable courage and innovative minds, especially useful in a year marked by climate unpredictability. The United Nations has declared 2026, next year, as the International Year of Women Farmer. This confirms what we already know: supporting women in agriculture is key to a more sustainable future. Gender equality is a key priority for Norway across all sectors, and agriculture is no exception there. We are optimistic when seeing how Yara commits to bridging the gender gap and increasing the number of women farmers in their programs. I was also privileged last year to visit the Babrala site of Yara, where I saw how this sustainability was part of how Yara operates, how Yara produces, and how Yara engages with communities. I was really impressed by how Yara is paving greener pathways for the future by aligning industrial ambition with environmental responsibility and community empowerment. I also there met farmers and women farmers. Yara has also shown ability to adapt by focusing on the technology and education. Yara offers guidance from soil preparation to harvest, including waste management, weather-adaptive techniques, and smart farming solutions, which I saw the need of during my meetings with small-scale farmers. Let me also mention at the end, March last year marked a milestone in Norway-India relations. We signed the trade agreement between the EFTA countries and India, which will enter into force this year and foster our countries' ties and economic development. We support Yara's goal. We have the power to reshape the future of agriculture. Let's continue this journey together. Let's keep empowering those who feed the world. Thank you so much, Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Ambassador Stenner, for the warm opening and for your continued support in this journey. We now move to the key highlights of the report. This third edition reflects Yara's ongoing commitment to sustainable agriculture. To present the highlights, I would like to invite Vishali, Head Public Affairs and Communication from Yara India, to the stage, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was so nice to hear what Ambassador was talking about. I did not want your address to come to an end. It was like something which you know more about Yara and shared commitment which the Norwegian companies have in India. So very nice to hear that. Now it gives me. Sorry, how do we run this? It's not going. This is moving. It's not moving here. Okay, I'll start. That's okay. Let me do it like that. It gives me immense pleasure to present the Yara India Sustainability Report developed in alignment with the GRI Universal Standards. Video, 1 second. Sorry for the glitch. The Yara India Sustainability Report is developed in alignment with the GRI Universal Standards 2021. And this year it is also independently assured by TÜV, which is a globally recognized standards company. And the standards which have been followed are ISAE 3000 and ISO 1703. So what this means for us is that like we have the financial audits, for sustainability, wherever you are talking about qualitative information, this is an internationally recognized agency which does assurance for the data which is presented. So our disclosures are something which are verified. Now let's begin with the ESG, the environmental, social and governance achievements which we've achieved over the last 1 year in 2024. And much of this progress wouldn't have been possible if there was no commitment from the senior leadership, both from our Bablara plant, represented by, led by MSP Saurabh, and our commercial business for South Asia, which is led by Sanjeev, based out of Gurgaon. Some of the highlights, there are a lot of numbers here, but maybe some of the highlights which I like to showcase are that we saved about 6,700 gigajoules of energy through efficiency projects. And there was also a lot of management of industrial waste and engagement with farmers. So close to 6.5 lakh farmers were engaged with different agronomic engagements, and there was outreach which was done with these farmers. So this year we have changed some of our materiality topics, and this was done in alignment with our internal teams and our external stakeholders. Based on what matters most to us, we selected the materiality topics, and this report has information and also some of the data points which are specific to these material topics. Now, we have, this is a framework which we have been following. We follow the 5C approach, where we talk about commitment. Commitment is basically where we talk about our commitment to people and planet. And 100% of our operations are accessed for corruption. Integrity is something which is core to commitment. So as Yara, being a Norwegian company, integrity is something which is core to us, and 100% of the operations have been assessed for corruption. Also to mention, in 2024, there was zero corruption case which was reported, and that's something which we are very proud of. Coming to the Connect, this is something which has the heart of the overall report, because if you look at the initiatives, most of the initiatives fall under Connect, and this is connecting to the systems. So here we talk about the value chain, and though we are doing a lot of things at our own level in our plant, but what is the difference which we can make in the value chain overall from a perspective of the systems. So this is what we've done in this. There are certain things which are worth a mention. We have this time reduced our logistics footprint, which has been a priority for us. So we've changed from last year introduced the rail movement of premium fertilizers. What happened was that most of the times when it arrives at port, it is transported through road. But this time we made a conscious decision, and there was all planning involved to make this as a rail transport. And so rakes were done. So in 2024 alone, we have moved about 8 such rakes, which have reached directly to the retailers and distributors at the point of sale. By doing this, though we are also saving on the freight cost, but on the other side, there's also a reduction in the total emissions to about a tune of 27%. We have also been making steady progress in local sourcing, which has increased from 6% in 2023 to about 9% in 2024. And there's another one thing which was worth mentioning, that we have introduced a QR-based authentication to avoid counterfeiting. You must be aware that counterfeit market is close to about 450 billion Indian rupees. It's a parallel market which runs. So this QR code helps the farmer, the channel partner, to authenticate the product. It is going to the third-party site where the channel partner comes to know that the product is authentic. Now coming to in the Connect section itself, we have a privilege of having 2 beneficiaries from Karnataka and 1 from UP. So I would like to request our friend from UP to please come over and share his story.
गुड मॉर्निंग टू ऑल। मेरा नाम शिव कुमार त्यागी है और मैं GM केन देवबंद त्रिवेणी इंजीनियरिंग यूनिट देवबंद से मैं कार्यरत हूँ। इससे पहले मैं धामपुर शुगर मिल में 2006 से लेके 2023 तक रहा हूँ। 2016 में श्री संजीव सर और गौरव देवल मेरे से मिले। उन्होंने फर्टिलाइज़र के उत्पादों के बारे में बताया। मैंने जो ये 2 फर्टिलाइज़र इस्तेमाल किए, यारा फर्टिलाइज़र की 2 प्रमुख उत्पाद श्रृंखलाएँ यारा मिला कॉम्प्लेक्स और यारा मिला नाइट्रोबोर गन्ने की पैदावार के लिए बहुत अत्यंत प्रभावी सिद्ध हुए। इसमें यारा मिला कॉम्प्लेक्स में संतुलित मात्रा में नाइट्रोजन, फास्फोरस और पोटास के साथ सूक्ष्म पोषक तत्व होते हैं, जिसमें गन्ने की शुरुआती वृद्धि, जड़ विकास और पौधे की हरियाली और ज़बरदस्त सुधार होता है। उदाहरण के तौर पर जिन किसानों ने 30 से 45 दिन के अवस्था में प्रयोग किया, उनके खेतों में गन्ने की ऊंचाई और कल्लों की मात्रा बहुत सामान्य से कहीं बेहतर थी। वहीं यारा लीवा नाइट्रोबोर, जिसमें कैल्शियम बोरान होता है, फसल के बाद के चरण में उपयोग करने में गन्ने की मोटाई, लंबाई, मिठास बढ़ती है, जिससे गन्ने का वजन और बाजार मूल्य दोनों में इजाफा होता है। इन उत्पादों के प्रयोग में गन्ने में रोग प्रतिरोधक क्षमता भी बढ़ती है और उत्पादन में उल्लेखनीय वृद्धि होती है, जिसके मार्गदर्शन से हमें खेतों में इतने सकारात्मक परिणाम देखने को मिले। 2022-23 में मैं रजपुरा यूनिट में गया। वहाँ पे मैंने दोनों का प्रयोग अधिक मात्रा में किया। वहाँ मेरी रिकवरी 11 चल रही थी। इसके उत्पाद लगाने से गौरव देवल ने मेरे को सप्लाई करवाया ये दोनों, और वहाँ मेरी 11 की रिकवरी थी। उससे पहले 1186 मेरी रिकवरी आई। तो इस तरह बहुत लाभ हुआ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Mr. Shiv Kumar. Just for our friends from embassy, he's mentioned about the sugar recovery, which got increased because of use of certain products which Yara had supplied. The production and the sugar recovery both increased. He's part of one of the sugar mills, one of the biggest sugar mills in UP. And now moving on to another mill, but the results are something which is seen on ground. So it's good to understand from him that there are some real impact of the products on the ground. Moving on to the concern, which is for societal issues. So in concern, we are talking about the kind of engagements we've had with our farmer friends. So close to 53,000 meetings. In terms of agronomy sessions, we had more than 32,000 agronomy sessions, and these are including the demonstrations, trials, which happen on, and these are on specific issues. So there are hyper-local issues which farmers face in the ground, and the agronomists, the team of agronomists, which we have close to 300 commercial agronomists, they are day in and day out going in the fields and talking to the farmers, understanding their issues and giving them solutions. So based on that, there are inputs which are given to farmers, and also very specific solutions based on the products which we have. Also to mention, we conducted close to 700 MSMEs which were trained under the Leadership Academy program, which is now accredited by government as well. In 2024, these 700 MSMEs got their certificates, and they are now having a mini MBA course, which a 15-week mini MBA course. Now they are having a certificate for that, and also having some benefits out of those courses like digital literacy and other stuff. Talking about this, when we're talking about the societal issues, there's another beneficiary we are privileged to have today, bringing another voice from the field. His name is Mr. Yogeshwara. He's president of South Region Pomegranate Growers FPO, and we would like him to come over and share his experiences which he had with Yara.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Yogeshwar HR. Myself is the chairman of the South Region Pomegranate Growers Producers Company Limited. Its main corporate office is in Asan district, Karnataka. It is an immense honor to be here today to share our journey. We have been cultivating pomegranate from 14 years. It is not an immense, it is not just a livelihood. It is our heritage, our passion, especially for high-value, export-oriented cultivation. But for years, our passion was overshadowed by immense challenges. We have struggled with inconsistent crop quality due to non-availability of standard agri inputs. That led to low prices for our fruits. In 2021, we established SRPG FEO with a capital of 1 lakh and authorized capital of 29 lakhs. And we are covering more than 1,000 plus pomegranate growing farmers have been influenced by us. Then come to Yara. In year 2021, they did not just offer products, they brought a target engagement programs and a authentic partnership. Their team, especially through leaders like Mr. Manju Kushal Murthy, providing tailored crop planning advice. They set up demonstration plots right there in the fields, showcasing the benefits of complete nutrition program, introducing us Yara Vita foliar solutions and Yara Mila complex fertilizers. This was a revelation showing the balanced nutrient protocol beyond just calcium nitrate, and crucially, they assured us about 100% safety of Yara Mila grades, Yara Vita grades, formulated with food, pharma, cosmetic grade raw materials, using such raw materials, leaving no residue in the soil. Then in 2021, they established Yara Crop Nutrition Center with our FEO. Was a game changer. It became our one-stop solution, product access and vital agronomic support. They organized regular farmer meetings and field training sessions, constantly sharing knowledge and best practices to our farmers. The impact has been nothing short transformative. Our business volume increased fourfold from 2021 to 24. Our total business was skyrocket from when we start our FEO in 2021, it is 2.5 crores. In 2024, we have achieved 21 crores, our total turnover. Now come to Yara. We have given 25 lakh business in 2021. In 2024, we have given 1.8 crore business for Yara. All our transactions are now cash and carry basis, reflecting the deep trust and adaptation among our farmers. The quality of our pomegranate has dramatically enhanced, attracted export-oriented companies and allowing us to command premium prices in the international markets. Today, we are in a position to export UAE, Bangladesh. This has truly restored our pride and profitability. SRPG FEO itself has been strengthened, a testament to what local leadership combined with scientific crop nutrition can achieve. Beyond economics, the adaptation of tailored crop plans has also brought significant sustainability impacts, improved soil health, better fruit shelf life, and instilled resilience against climatic stress. Yara India commitment extends beyond mere transaction, true partnership and knowledge sharing, empowering us. We are not just growing pomegranate, we are cultivating the future for our next generation pomegranate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We truly value our partnership with you. Coming to the last two C's, which is care and contribute. So care is specifically for the environment and people. And this is where we talk about how much have we saved in terms of more than 6,700 gigajoules through solar energy and 25 to 30% water saving, which is in the Babrala plant. In terms of the contribution, contribution to communities, we have Binay here. He's there from the Babrala plant, and he's looking after CSR. The numbers are something which are like very inspiring. Through the CSR programs, we've improved education for more than 20,000 children, provided healthcare to 10,000 patients, and empowered 4,700 women through SHGs, which are operational in Babrala plant. With this, we come to the way forward, and what is that we are actually looking forward to now. We are very actively looking at transforming our logistics. So we are looking at getting vessels for our premium products, and this is something which will help us save money, definitely, but it will also have an impact on the emissions. The emissions will reduce dramatically when we are shifting to vessels for our premium product imports. Again, focusing on gender diversity, our aim is that we'll have almost 30% women representation in the senior management roles in 2025. And we are on track to achieve 4.85 gigacal per metric ton energy intensity by 2029, as has been highlighted. So this is it for the highlights. If there are any queries or if there is any data which is required, please feel free to connect and we can provide you more information on it. And now moving to the most interesting piece of today, which is a panel discussion on the theme Nourishing India Responsibly. The panel will be chaired by Professor Ashok Gulati, Padma Shri awardee, eminent agriculture economist, and a distinguished professor at ICREER, a leading voice in shaping India's agriculture policy and reforms. Professor Gulati will begin with the keynote address to set the context, and then we will invite the rest of the panelists on the floor. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Madam Ambassador, Sanjeev, and distinguished participants here. I'm supposed to be talking about for 15 minutes on nourishing India responsibly. I'm so happy and compliment that the title you have given me is not feeding India but nourishing India. So this is the first change that we are seeing. But let me spend 1 minute to give a background of the challenge that India had faced all these years of feeding the largest population on this planet today. We know what had happened in 1960s, and the seeds were imported, high-yielding variety seeds, and from a ship-to-mouth economy in the 60s, we became self-sufficient, and today we are the largest exporter of rice in the world. 25 out of 61 million tons of global exports, India has exported 20 plus million tons. This is a remarkable journey. And it was in a race to produce more to feed literally an exploding population. We are 4 times more today than we were at the time of independence. So feeding India was the real challenge. Now, in this process of feeding India, 2 things were forgotten. What is happening to the planet? Because first, if there are more mouths to feed, you have to produce more. When you are producing more, whether Mother Earth is taken care of or not, that was one thing that had to suffer. And that's where, when we talk about nourishing India, it's also a question, are we eating good enough food? And is our food nourished? The wheat of 1960s and the wheat of 2025 is not same in terms of nutrition. Rice and wheat today are zinc deficient. and that is leading to deficiency of zinc amongst children. 35% of India's children below the age of 5 are stunted, and one of the causes is deficiency of zinc. But zinc is lacking in our food because we are not nourishing the soils with zinc enough. So we are applying too much of urea, and we are forgetting about the micronutrients that are needed. So when you say nourishing India, it is not just the people of India. It's the soils of India, the food of India, and only then the people of India can be nourished. So this linkage, I like the framework that you have in your sustainability report of 5 C's. Let me put 5 P's on the table for you. You are the champion of products, and you talk about the practices with the farmers, and I was happy to see those farmers giving those results. Products and practices is only a partial game in this entire ecosystem, food ecosystem. There are people who need to be fed and nourished, but there are peasants, the farmers, who are going to produce, and they are incentivized by their profits. As he said, our profitability increased. If you can increase their profitability, but also ensure profitability can be increased by a number of means. You can increase profitability of farmers by subsidizing urea by the tune of 85%. And that is leading to massive distortion in the soil, overuse of urea and deficiency of other macro and micronutrients. So I need to bring in, besides your products and practices, policies which you don't want to talk about. Because policies are critical to put the humanity on the track. Feeding India succeeded because Parliament took a decision in India to import 18,000 tons of yielding variety seeds. It was a policy decision. It was a policy decision of subsidizing fertilizers. Now, if we can correct those policies, many of the ill effects on the soil and thereby in the crops and then the human nutrition can be corrected. So I do want to speak about one of the critical policies. First, I want to really admire Yara, that Yara was bold enough to take over the plant of Tata's when Tatas had literally raised their hands that it is difficult to operate in an environment where your hands are tied, your legs are tied, and everything is controlled from pricing to distribution to product approval to this and that. It's the most controlled sector of the economy today. And when we have seen, we were operating before 91, a controlled economy like the former Soviet Union. And we had only $1.4 billion in July 1991. And today we are touching about $700 billion. This change came from deregulating the system. We have not been able to deregulate the fertilizer sector. And that's a challenge on the table because all this nourishment and malnourishment that we are talking, quite a bit of this is linked to the policy environment that is too tight, too controlled, and not looking either at the planet concerns, free power, free electricity leading to massive depletion of water, overuse of nitrogen, and you talked about nutrient use efficiency or nitrogen use efficiency. The plant in Punjab, rice and wheat, they are not consuming more than 35 to 40% of the nitrogen that is being applied. Rest is going in the environment as nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is 273 times the carbon dioxide. Or it is leaching into the groundwater and having nitrate excess in the groundwater, making it non-potable. And nowadays there is a cancer train that goes from Punjab to Bikaner. So all these ill effects that we are seeing are a result of basically a policy. If you can correct that policy, today I think 85% is the subsidy on urea, about 25% or so on potash, and so the nutrient-based subsidy 2010, I think it started off, has not corrected the imbalance, and therefore we do need to also interact beyond the farmers with the policymakers. Products and practices are good at a micro level, but if you want to change the scene at a macro level and unleash a transformation the way 1991 reforms did, I think we have to talk to the policymakers. And I can see only two ways to proceed. If you are going to keep the prices low, there was a question you had asked why there was scarcity in one pocket or the other. This is an every year feature. When the prices are low, either you have to do rationing or there will be shortages because it will be sold in the black market somewhere. Okay, we have seen with the cement industry, we had seen it with the many other commodities, how price controls led to 22% of India's fertilizers do not go to agriculture. You look at the input-output table of India, what is being produced and what is being consumed by agriculture, it is going somewhere else. Many other industries, plywood industry, glass industry, and even our neighboring countries are benefiting from that. 22% is not a small sum. On an average, the subsidy on fertilizers is about $22 billion. 20% of that, it's a huge sum. If you can save that 40,000 crores, you can invest in R&D, you can invest in agriculture, you can do in product innovation, which you are focusing at, and customized fertilizers. If you can raise the nutrient use efficiency to 90% through drip or your customized fertilizer, which is feasible, and that is the direction in which we have to move, you will do a great justice, not only to your Yara firm, but to the country and the people of this country. It's a massive macro impact. Can we create, as a pilot, one district, one block, where we can say this entire block or this district has a nutrient efficiency not 35 or 40%, but 90%. That would be the Yara flag, and that would be the Yara message. That's where we can bring the Prime Minister, this is the way forward. So either if you are controlling the prices, you have to go through innovations in products, rationing or customized things and drip irrigation and so on and so forth. Otherwise, to me, my training is in agriculture economics, it's deregulating the system. You want to help the farmers, give them directly. The direct benefit support that you want to give, income support to the farmers, and deregulate the pricing of all these NPK and micronutrients. And you will find a massive change. This country, you are the only one who had foreign investment in India in the fertilizer sector, right? That's why I say you are very daring. Nobody else wants to touch this sector. It is so highly controlled. And it can...
From my 35% owner.
And you can find a niche market. I saw your report which says 34% or 40% increase in a year. This is remarkable. So you must be a genius, where you could find a niche to grow at 35%, 40% in a single year, which I think industry, it's more than double the rate of the industry, or triple perhaps. So there is something great. My only submission is, if you want to nourish India, please showcase not a few farmers, but a scale of a district at least, or a block, where we can show my soil, Mother Earth is taken care of. We looked at that. Soil organic carbon. Ratan Lal, the World Food Laureate, says it should be at least 1.5 to 2. More than 50% of soils in India are less than 0.5. So you can think of how much we need. And excess in certain pockets, deficiency of P and K and zinc, boron, iron, you look at that, it is all imbalanced structure. So imbalanced structure of the soil cannot give you balanced structure or balanced nutrition in the crops, and balanced, if that is lacking, you cannot have a balanced diet and balanced body. So that's where the linkage of nutrition has to be. But you also showed how much water you have saved and how much, I think that drip thing that you are experimenting with, easily 50% of water can be saved compared to the flood irrigation that we are tuned to. And sugarcane belt, especially where you are working, I think that is the best way. But the scale has to be created so that we can bring the policy makers. You can save soil, you can save water. What about air? I want to see that. Punjab, when this nitrous oxide is going and when the flood irrigation is there in the rice paddy fields, it is methane, nothing else. These are ponds of methane. So methane, nitrous oxide, and then on top of that paddy burning, we have estimated per hectare, it is 5 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. 5 tons per hectare of paddy creates, 1 hectare of paddy creates 5 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. If we can have a policy, those who can reduce it to half, that's your CSR target or ESG, then they will be rewarded by policy. If you can do that, the entire thing will change. So my request is, peasants need their profits, which you are doing great. You need products and practices to change, wonderful. I need the policies to change so that I can save my planet and also prosperity of the peasants. With those words, I would like to thank Yara for the invitation.
Thank you, Dr. Gulati, for such an insightful and thought-provoking note. We can now transition into the next segment, which is our discussion, the panel discussion on Nourishing India Responsibly, which will be chaired by Dr. Gulati himself. Please join me in welcoming him, along with our distinguished panelists, Mr. Roshan Lal Tamak, Executive Director and CEO, DCM Shriram Limited, Mr. Abhishek Jain, Director, Green Economy and Impact Innovation, CEW, Mr. Abhishek Jain, Director, Green Economy and Impact Innovation, CEW, and Sanjeev, Managing Director, Yara South Asia. We look forward to a rich and engaging conversation.
Hello. I said panelists have been introduced. We are very distinguished people. And my job here is to ask a few questions to kickstart the discussion and then open it for the audience to shoot as many questions as they like. We want good results. You know, I was reading your thing, the 5C and those 2-3 things. Of course, ESG's first concern is environment, sustainability question, and regenerative agriculture, and so on and so forth. I did note your target of 30% women engagement. At present, you are at 12. I'm coming from an institute where 70% are women. Because they can take care better. What is one thing that you would like to change in India to see better results towards sustainability? This is the first thing.
Thanks. Before I get into that, I will try to answer the women question. Overall, we are at 12% of females team members in Yara India, and the ambition is 30%. And one of the biggest challenges, it's been an interesting learning journey for us, to be honest. And we did hit close to about 18-19% about a couple of years back. And we're not driven by, let's say, women quotas, no. That's not the right way of doing it. Because then everybody gets slotted into genders, and that's not right. It's more on capability and capacity. And the fact is that 50% of agriculture students today are females. And if we don't include them, we can attempt to include them in our teams, then we're leaving 50% of the talent out there. And we don't bring them into the corporate world, we don't bring them into a trade. So we did hit about 17-18%. Of late, we have lost some team members, unfortunately, because I think maybe at some stage the markets are not ready to give a suitable environment in the countryside, because we went out and we hired and we brought in some management trainees, sales trainees to work in the markets. And there we have had some cultural challenges, which we're trying to learn from our failures, and then we will come back again in 2026 and start to revamp or reapproach how we bring in the females and first of all, is to make them 100% safe. So that is something which we're trying to address. But alongside, what we've also done is my own management team, I think about 67% of my management team is females. And you're talking about 30%, 40% growth that we have seen. I would also mention that we breached the 50% management team, female members last year. And you can see a direct correlation in her performance. So my management team members, Rachna, she is my CFO. Poonam, she takes care of, she's a resources person. Shobita is People Connect. Vaishali is Public Affairs and Comms. Not on quota basis, it's efficiency basis. I always say that they are there because they belong there. They're not there just because they're females and we have some targets to. No, not at all. So we don't have any, to be very honest here. So the management team meetings are much more livelier, much more aggressive, much more data-based, much more analytics. So we are much more efficient. We benefit from their experiences, inherently coming as professionals, as well as, of course, the female instinct is much better than male instinct, in my opinion. So that's one part. Somebody should tell that to my wife also, that I said that. And what could be much more sustainable? How to become much more sustainable? I think it's, the starting point is soil. I strongly believe in that. The starting point is soil, because if you don't nurture the soil, you're going to get a crop which will maybe fill your stomach, but it will not give you the nourishment that you need. That is extremely important. And as we all know, I mean, we've seen the soil map of India. The soil map of India is not very attractive. If you have the bars, you have 50 to 60% of the bar is red, and very little is left in green. And it is beginning to show up on our tables. I'll give you a live example, which is very disturbing. Of course it's disturbing that we talk about stunted children in India. You go into the rural countryside and you see that, I do this, I look at a kid and say, okay, this kid is maybe 9 years old, turns out he's 13, he's 12. Very alarming. Last week I was traveling and we were in a team meeting, and we had some colleagues from Western India in the team, and 4 of us were sitting on a dining table. And we started to talk about better quality of food and so on and so forth, environment and all that stuff. And it turned out all four of us, this is alarming, all four of us had somebody in the immediate or the extended family suffering from cancer. So there is an epidemic out there and we don't know about it, we don't talk about it. This is alarming. Where is it coming from? It's coming from the groundwater. It's coming from ag chem. So when you talk about cancer trains moving from here to there, this is the harsh reality that we are faced with. How are you going to fix it? Of course, it has to be policy. This has to be through the policy, because what is happening is that you're putting in too much nitrogen, it's pushing away the micronutrients, it is impacting the strength of the, let's say, the strength of the crop to withstand the virus attacks. So the farmers go in and apply more of ag chem, and that comes onto our table, goes down into the market. So there is, and one thing I certainly feel, I've not been able to, after this chat last week, maybe another 2 weeks, I'll come back to you and share my analysis. My gut feel is, as the nutrient efficiency has gone down, 1 kg of NPK given 12 kg of grain, it's come down in the last 50 years to maybe 1 kg of NPK giving 2.2, right, Ritika? 2.2 kgs of grain. I feel that the cancer incidence have gone up in India. There is a correlation. It's just a hunch. I don't know. I mean, because we're putting in more and more and more, and what we're getting is destroying our ecosystem. So that is what has to be sorted out, and for that you need innovation, you need innovative products to be the window or the wall that we have built of policy that has to be demolished. You need to allow innovative products to come in, policy interventions in terms of enabling the farmers to apply balanced crop nutrition. As you said, sir, why don't you give subsidy to the farmer directly and move on? Let him or her decide what they want. Aajkal the kisan is no longer a 2 bigha kisan. Right?
There was a question that Harish had asked
Yeah.
earlier
Yeah.
on the products.
Yeah,
Can you blend urea with something else?
absolutely.
And then, so what is the product approval and all those things?
It takes time. I mean, it takes almost about 5 years to get a new product in India. We have the longest time taken to register new products in India. There was a survey done by the World Bank in 2019. 101 countries were surveyed, and India ranked 97th in terms of getting new approvals done. So what is happening is that you are behind the technology curve by half a decade. Something that is available to a farmer in China or even in Sri Lanka today is made available to the farmer in India after 5 years. Then we say, how do you increase your agri exports? Why should you sell only paddy? Why can't we send fresh fruits to the Middle East? Now you can connect from Punjab to the Middle East in less than 5 days. The highway is there. Yeah, just in 4 hours you can deliver. You have the FTAs there with Qatar. You even have an FTA with EFTA now. We can supply into the European market. I would love to supply some apples from here to Norway. I would love to do that. That would be really fantastic for me. But then we need to have the quality.
Will they have the same nutrition that Norway gets from?
If they're using the Yara crop program, they will. I eat only Yara crop program treated apples, and my hemoglobin is 17.
So, you have been engaged more into sugarcane.
Yes.
And sugarcane is a water guzzler, huge nitrogen, all the fertilizer consumption must be at least 250, 300 kilograms per hectare of that well. How in your area you are going to be changing the scene? And but I had put a question. Can we create a block or a district as a sample district where we can bring the practice to see this is double the efficiency of the normal.
Thank you, Dr. Gulati. It's always enriching to listen you. And in fact, I will answer your last question first. I told a colleague of Mr. Sanjeev, Vinay Srivastava was sitting along with me, that let's start this project in our factory area, this nutritive efficiency. And Yara is well placed over there in our area. and of course we have our strong physical presence over there. So coming to two questions that what can we do for these two things? How can we improve rather water use efficiency, and how can we improve nutrient use efficiency? Glad to share with you all the work which we are doing. First of all, water. Water is essence of life, and we do feel that as responsible corporate citizen, it is our duty to conserve water. So on both sides, on supply side as well as demand side, we have initiated a structured program in the command areas of our factories. As far as water use efficiency is concerned, we started this project about 8 years back. It's called Mitha Sona, and we brought multiple stakeholders at one platform, like International Finance Corporation, Solidaridad, drip irrigation companies, and technology companies like Netafim, Revolis, all other companies. And here we implemented three-pronged approach. One, of course, knowledge transmission, but second is how can we adopt time-tested practices which are proven on scale. For example, trash mulching and composting. These are known for ages, but how to implement on scale? Last year, we touched about 70,000 hectare area as far as trash mulching is concerned. And we propagated trash mulcher, trash shredders through micro entrepreneurs which we have developed. We have also, through composting, because we have press mud ready-made with us, 20,000 compost pits we prepared and propagated composting. Then alternate flow method, skip flow method, trench planting method. And the combined effect of is this, and we are engaged with Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, Lucknow, to validate all these savings. And happy to share, sir, that during last 8 years, we have saved more than 1,000 liter of water, in the billion liter of water in the catchment area of our factories. This has been authenticated by them. Coming to the second part, nutrient use efficiency. Over the years, since last 20 years, we have initiated the concept of foliar spray. Again, through micro entrepreneurs, we are doing this foliar spray of micronutrients and nutrients. This year, we shall be touching about 80,000 hectare out of 160,000 hectares sugarcane area in our area through foliar spray. That too multiple. Tractor-mounted sprayers are there. Now we have started using drones as well. And this is a sure-set way to improve the water and nutrient use efficiency. So these two examples I wanted to share with you.
Just one question. Anyone amongst those farmers using biochar to retain the water, the soil health? Because mulching,
Yeah,
they are using,
yeah.
that's one part. But is anyone using biochar?
Not so far, but we have started engagement with Varaha, and we shall certainly be exploring this. This on this.
You come from a think tank, right? And there is energy-water nexus. Punjab is a classic case. Free electricity, but water table going down by 1.5 feet every year. What you have to say on sustainability? Do you have a solution?
Thank you, Dr. Gulati. Yeah, I think easy to talk about solutions, hard to implement them. But I would say, like, of course, soil is one very critical area. But I think what is really missing, if we were to look at one thing that need to be changed in the sustainability landscape around food and agriculture, is really moving from a production system approach to a food system approach. I mean, our agriculture policy especially still remains dominant with the production system focus. Ultimately, what are we doing when we think about agriculture and food system? We are looking at an outcome of healthy population. That's one reason why we are growing food. So I will stretch the envelope from food security to nutrition security, which we all sort of internalize now, but to really health security, because that is still a further step ahead. And that's where the whole adverse implication, whether it is the chemical exposure from the pesticides and so on. So you can have a nutritious plate, but if that is also laden with chemical, you might get all the micronutrients, but you also get all the oxidative stress, which is going to lead to cancer, right? And other autoimmune issues which are ramping up. And if you look at the policy landscape, Ministry of Health in India has no say on what our food system is looking like. Barring National Institution of Nutrition, which tells you the recommended dietary levels, or FSSAI, which is doing just the regulation at the last end on packaged food, there's no say of Ministry of Health in terms of what are we growing, how are we growing, and what is the implication on health. So the health side of the policy is completely reactive today. It is only once you have some issue, our healthcare system kicks in. It is not looking at how do we prevent the issues to happen in the first place. So I think the first thing we need to really change in the policy landscape is moving from that production system to genuinely a food systems approach, where health as an outcome becomes integrated to our food and agriculture landscape. The second thing, you touched upon this in your remarks, Dr. Gulati, is the farmer's livelihood, right? And that has been in some ways a focus. We also had this whole doubling farmers' income narrative a few years ago and so on. But I think what we do not realize there is that farming today is not just an isolated profession. Most of the farmers in India are actually doing farming part-time. There are other allied activities that are happening. Unfortunately, a lot of them are doubling up as farm laborers as well. So it's really a household level intervention that we need instead of only thinking of who is a landowner and what is that is happening. Most of the landowners are not tilling their land. It's really the laborers and the leasers who are actually doing the farming. So unless we change who we are supporting from, again, that food systems lens of whose income are we increasing, it will be very difficult to only solve for just looking at the landowners. If they are not cultivating year after year, they do not have the incentive structure in place to actually care for the soil that we are discussing. And if the benefits cannot today, from a policy perspective, go to the one who is actually cultivating, then how do you create a distinct system? Like, we can do a DBT, we can do a direct cash transfer, but if it is only linked to the landowner, it is not still going to improve your soil health unless it gets transferred to also the actual cultivator. So those are some of the further challenges I have.
I'm supposed to ask one more question and then open up for the audience. We can go up to 115, right? Yeah. Right? What's the time? Oh, it's 18. Okay, I think very quick. I just want to pick up from there. Unless the profitability of the farmer is improved, any lecturing on taking care of the soil or water or anything else is not going to work. We were doing some work in our institution, and as per our research, the average agriculture household income in 24-25 hovers around 20,000 rupees only. 20,000 rupees is the income of an average agriculture household. There are different estimates, but more details I can give you later. Question is, how do we, for 5-6 years, Prime Minister was putting this doubling of farmer income as a target. The achievement is 40 to 50% of that target. Real incomes have to improve. And can that be improved by increasing productivity of rice and wheat, which occupy the largest area? Impossible. So if we have to move to either the livestock sector or the horticulture sector, this is where the high value agriculture can give them much higher income. We are working right now in a district called Sirsa in Haryana, where there is salinity in water and paddy yields are falling because of salinity, and some people started shrimp cultivation by removing paddy and putting a shrimp farm. Their income has gone to 4 times, 5 times that they were earning. Interestingly, they are getting the stock from Andhra, producing it here, sending it back to Andhra for exports. Our biggest export item, agriculture export item to US is shrimps, and largely concentrated in Andhra, but now starting in Haryana, in the saline lands. So how an adversity can be converted into an opportunity, and profit income goes up by 4 times, 5 times easily. Can you give me the example where 6,50,000 farmers you are working with, so many sessions you had? I think there has to be a data, what they were growing earlier, and when your intervention came, by how much the income of the farmer increased, and also the soil structure or water or air was saved. And we didn't talk about biodiversity at all. I think if I have to look at the overall environment issue, I will put soil, water, air, and biodiversity, the SWAB, together. Quick. Income?
I think on the income, Mr. Jogeshwara has already shared the information. His income level or the turnover has gone up by about
That's only 1%.
12%. Okay. Then I need to send you a long email with a list of farmers to talk to. Of course, we have. If you go to the apple market, where we had one gentleman, Kunal Singh Chauhan, he was on his orchard. He was having 1,800 boxes per annum. Now it's up to 3,200 boxes of apple. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we'll give him. We can share that. So that's one. Top of the mind, apple, because I love apples. So that's one. Then lychee story. As a special project, we took the lychee project in Bihar because lychees were going downhill, and we chased 10,000 acres in lychee. We have a sample here for you guys to eat. And there the productivity has gone up by 20 to 30%. We wanted the lychee farmer to come here and present his case, but he told us that I can't come because I'm selling lychee and this is the time for me to make money. So that, I said, that's okay. I think the key is, taking from what Abhishek was saying, we need to move from supply-driven agriculture to demand-driven agriculture. So when the farmers are aware at what time they need to pluck the harvest and deliver, when the prices are good, that is something which we need to reach, and we are not able to reach that stage as of now. Yeah.
So you can say 3x, 4x income increase.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that needs to be recorded and communicated to the media.
In fact, sir, for improving income of the farmers in a structured manner and on scale, we have initiated one project. It is called High Yield Project, and we have coined the initiative as Sukh Samriddhi Ka Sankalp, Adhik Upaji Ek Vikalp. And basically, if we are committed to prosperity, high yield is the only solution. So, for this purpose, we were doing this all demonstration plots consistently over the years, but that scale was missing. So last year we started this in a more structured manner. We put demonstration plots on 7,000 plots last year. This year we have scaled it up to 20,000. And what we have done, we have developed a proper SOP which is feasible, practical, simple, doable, and distributed the hard copies to the farmers and sent that electronically also through WhatsApp group to the farmer. Then we have prepared a field management book. We have deputed fieldmen over there just to ensure that as per SOP, the work is done. We have provided support of machines and support of inputs through our setup. And also, we are just supervising those plots in between. And secondly, sir, few seconds, digitally also we have started to support them. We have a call center, we have the numbers of the farmers, and we have 98 lines call center, 700 calls we do per day basis. Result is that last year our 2 farmers achieved at state level the yield of 275 ton, 221 ton, 2 farmers first and third were our farmers. This year, our second prize winner was from our area, 226 ton, and the state average is approximately 80 ton. And this year, out of the 6,000 farmers, 143 farmers have achieved the yield of 150 ton. And this year, we are targeting and committed to increase this number above 1,000 at least. This is our target. Anytime that practical harvesting has been done and the detail is there. Yeah.
Not these, but of course we are doing a lot of on-field studies. I want to actually take maybe 90 seconds to 180 seconds. Imagine we were sitting in 1965, early days of Green Revolution. I think we would have still patted ourselves on the back that, okay, yields are increasing amazingly with all the interventions we are doing. I do not want 30 years, 40 years from now, we are still then repenting what we are doing today. So I think what we have been constantly doing in agriculture is improving on short-term performance against the trade-off of long-term resilience. So yield to me is a metric which is looked upon in a 3-month to 4-month cultivation cycle. We do not look at what happens to the rest of the year, which other symbiotic crop you're growing, not growing, or it is rain-fed, so it is completely fallow. What is happening to year after year performance? So I think yield, while has its usage, it should be looked upon in a very limited sense, along with this long-term trade-off with resilience. Without solving for that, I think just looking at yield as a only outcome indicator doesn't help. And the same challenge, I think, remains when we are looking at even breeding new varieties, creating new molecules. How much are we looking at optimizing for the resilience? The new varieties that ICAR comes out with do not even have to tell what is the nutrition profile of that seed quality. It is only about what is the output that it gives on per hectare basis. Leave aside per liter of water basis, leave aside per liter of input basis. So I think we really need to move beyond that.
I'm told I can ask the audience only for 2 questions. So we have quick 2 questions. Who would like to? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ritika Juneja from ICRIAR. I'm working with Dr. Kulati. I have a question to Sanjeev sir. You have one initiative on biofortified crops, Nutri-Farms with Harvest Plus. Which all varieties, biofortified varieties have been introduced under that initiative, and what intervention from Yara side has been made to increase its scale and adoption by farmers?
The intervention that we've done is on. Sorry.
You can speak, we can hear.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Pushpalata Singh from Terry. I just wanted to understand the foliar applications that you are going ahead with. Are they also able to reduce the recommended dose of fertilizers, or they are top-ups? And if they are not, then they are not doing any good to the environment. And what is your take on nano fertilizer in that context that India has always come up with?
Okay. So I don't have the exact biofortified seeds details, but we can certainly get that from you from our colleagues in Harvest Plus. But of course, we know that those seeds were fortified with zinc. So the trials that we ran was first we applied a zinc coating, zinc phosphate coating on the seeds, then it was put into the soil. Then we followed up with the urea coated with zinc oxide. And then at the right stage, maybe after 45 days of tilting stage, that's when we came with, again, another round of application of zinc. The end game was that we saw the yields go up substantially, about 15 or 17%. More importantly, the zinc availability in the paddy, in the rice, that was better than what it was in the biofortified biofortified seed, almost about 8 to 10%. We can share the details with you. That is available with us.
The very purpose of doing foliar spray is to reduce the physical dose of urea. So this is one objective, very clear. As far as nanofertilizer is concerned, it has been tried by the farmers, but its efficacy and effectiveness, we don't know scientifically.
I have to wrap it up now. Good applause for our panelists. One last word. Products, practices, you are the master. But if you get the policy which is liberal, then the innovations will take place. Peasant is concerned with his profit more than anything else. If you allow me to advertise, tomorrow at ICRIA we are having a roundtable on agrivoltaics. You have to think out of the box. That how agriculture can be combined with solar panels at 10 feet, it will double the farmer's income within 6 months. What the government could not do in 6 years, I think it can be done in 6 months. Again, policy, there is a fuzziness. What is this agrivoltaics? So I think Europe, Germany in particular, is going ahead, is in the forefront on agrivoltaics. Many other countries are going ahead. So you have to think of some thoughts out of the box for making a sustainable agriculture, giving farmers their prosperity and taking care of the environment and the soil and Mother Earth. With these words, I would like to close the session and thank you very much to the audience who had been very, very attentive and interactive. Thanks, Ambassador, to you for giving us your time. This was extremely nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gulati, and our esteemed panelists for your insightful contributions and for shaping the conversation around the future of sustainable agriculture in India. Before we move ahead, I would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to our session chair and our panelists. I now request Sanjeev to kindly present a small token of gratitude to each of our speakers. Thank you once again, gentlemen, for such a meaningful and engaging dialogue. We'll now set up the stage a little bit for our next segment, so just give us 2 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, I now request our dignitaries, Dr. Gulati, Sanjeev, Madam Ambassador, Prasad Sir, and Vishali to kindly join us on stage. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the official launch of Yara India Sustainability Report, themed Greener Pathways, Fostering a Nature-Positive Food Future. thank you everyone for doing the honors and marking this special milestone with us. I would like to now request Sanjeev to kindly please remain back with us on stage. And I would like to invite back on stage Mr. Shiv Kumar and Mr. Yogeshwar to please come on the stage. Requesting Sanjeev to please present a small token of appreciation from our side for their presence and support.
We'll now proceed with the interaction.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, now on behalf of Yara India, as we come towards the close of today's event, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Her Excellency Ambassador, Madam Ambassador, for her continued support and for graciously hosting us once again at the embassy. Dr. Ashok Gulati, for setting the tone with such a compelling and insightful keynote that framed today's dialogue so meaningfully. Our panelists, Mr. Roshan Lal Tamak, Mr. Abhishek Jain, for their valuable perspectives on building sustainable food future. Sanjeev, for his vision and commitment to embedding sustainability at the heart of Yara's strategy in India. Prasad sir, for championing the sustainability agenda at the plant level and ensuring that our operational practices reflect our environmental values. Vishali, for leading this agenda with dedication over the past 3 years. And our partners, PwC, TUV, and ANS for their collaboration and support. All our team members who worked tirelessly to compile this report, the extensive data and insights that formed the report. And to all our stakeholders, those present here and those joining us virtually, thank you for being part of this journey with us. We hope today's discussions further inspire collaboration and action towards a greener, more resilient future. Now, we would like you all to join us for lunch and networking outside. And there's a little surprise to your dessert today. We have a selection of fresh and sweet lychees straight from our fields from Muzaffarpur, Bihar. We hope you enjoy it. And thank you once again for being with us today and have a wonderful afternoon.